The British are a nation of garden lovers. From the most extravagant parks, of the grandest stately homes, to the smallest patches of greenery. The Brits just love to watch their gardens grow. But it seems that for some plant lovers, an innocent pastime has become a conservationist's nightmare. Dr. Ian Rotherham is an expert in biodiversity. He's committed to spending the next 10 years to finding out when invasive species first hit British shores. And he's found the best way to do this is by talking to the people who've intentionally spread them.
Really what we want to find out is what people's relationships are with these particular species, because it's quite clear to us that they are the agents of dispersal. They come into people's gardens, and then from gardens, as we've seen, they're either accidentally or deliberately released into the wild. Now, usually that isn't documented. And what we've been trying to find out from people is why they grow the plants, what they do with them, when and where they release them.
Many local gardeners have been in touch. All are keen to share their memories of what plants they used to grow.
Lots of people writing in, lots of people have sent information, sort of copies of books that they had in the 60s or scraps of books from, in some cases, the Victorian period. Notes written by their ancestors about the use of different medicines, different materials. So that's been tremendous. Lots of information about people gardening plants and cultivating them and releasing them to the wild, and people actually recording when they've first seen plants. That's a sort of ongoing thing that we get people phoning up and say, oh, I've just seen a buddleia growing on a chimney stack in Totley. Is it important? Yeah, that's great, that's a new record.
The list of alien species causing problems in the UK grows longer each day. It's a big deal because native plants are being pushed out. There's a particularly aggressive little plant that's spreading like wildfire.
This is the variegated yellow archangel, spreading very, very quickly. It's come from a garden across the way. That was brought there from North Wales about 6 years ago, and then it's come from there over the wall here and into the woodlands. It grows incredibly quickly, and we can see here it has quite large leaves. It's very vigorous growing. That's the proportion of this year's growth, so that's maybe twice that in a year. We're still on a little bit of ancient woodland and an ancient trackway that has gone to woodland, which may be 300 or 400 years old. If you imagine that spreading at twice that length for 200 years. Whew.
It seems that for centuries, the Brits have been willfully and quite happily spreading plants like this far and wide. How forthcoming are people about what they've done to replant invasive species? I mean, do they admit to doing this?
It's actually quite surprising that for conservationists, someone admitting introducing an invasive alien would be quite a serious crime. Whereas in fact for gardeners, they're in many cases very proud of it. Himalayan balsam, we have entire families who have dedicated their lives to spreading these plants.
Now, why is this useful information to have?
We need to know when species arrive and how they're being spread, how they're being dispersed, so we can then do a sort of crystal ball gazing to work out how rapidly there's likely to be a problem and the scale of that problem in terms of what it's going to be. The implications for conservation are huge.
Dr. Rotherham is right at the start of his study, but already people's strong relationship with plants is becoming clear. And who knows, a decade from now, he may have traced the invasion of some alien species back to when the very first seed was sown, centuries ago. The British are a nation of garden lovers. From the most extravagant parks, of the grandest stately homes, to the smallest patches